So today we're going to talk about that deep, kind of silent bond between people and their cats. It's a connection that really goes way beyond just, having a pet. We're about to get into the actual neuroscience behind it. So yeah, let's dive into the science of why this quiet little friendship feels so powerful.
You know this moment, right? Your cat has basically been a tiny, furry roommate who's forgotten you exist for hours. And then suddenly, it just chooses you. Your breathing gets a little slower, your mind quiets down, and the whole world just kind of settles. If you know that feeling, you are going to feel so seen in this explainer.
And this, right here, is the big idea we're digging into today. The reason you love your cat isn't just because you're a cat person. It's actually a reflection of your own biological wiring and what your body needs to feel safe and calm in the world.
I mean, think about it. That moment when your cat does something completely ridiculous, like stares you dead in the eye right after swiping your mug off the table. Do you get mad? Or is there a part of you that just kind of marvels at that bold, unapologetic confidence? If you're in that second group, well, you're about to understand exactly why.
Okay, so this brings us to our first section. This bond we have with cats, it isn't like the ones we have with other pets or even with most people. It's actually rooted in two completely different ways our nervous systems find their calm state.
So this is really fascinating. This slide breaks down the two ways we regulate. See, some nervous systems need that high energy, constant feedback to feel balanced. That's why a dog is a perfect match, right? It mirrors all that excitement. But other nervous systems regulate through stillness, predictability, and a total lack of pressure. And that right there is a perfect match for a cat.
And here's the key takeaway. When we talk about our pet preferences, a lot of the time we're unconsciously describing what our own nervous system needs. Too much is really the language of being overstimulated. Peaceful is the language of regulation. You're not just picking a pet, you're picking an environment that lets your body finally downshift and just rest.
Okay, so if it's our nervous system that's doing the choosing, what exactly is it choosing? Let's explore why for a certain type of person, a cat isn't just a good choice, it might be the only choice that feels truly safe. Let's be honest, human relationships, even the really great ones, can be a ton of work. There are all these unspoken demands, right? The pressure to text back right away, to match someone else's emotional energy. It's this constant negotiation. And for a nervous system that's already working overtime, that can be absolutely exhausting. And this is what makes cat affection just so different. It's a gift, not a demand. A cat will sit with you, and it doesn't need you to talk. It doesn't need you to make eye contact. It doesn't need you to perform some kind of emotional validation. It's just presence without pressure.
And this, right here, is such a critical distinction. There's this misconception that people who love cats are somehow distant or don't want closeness. But the truth is, they crave intimacy just like everybody else. They're just wired to avoid the pressure and the intensity that so often comes with it.
So how do cats actually do this? How do they pull this off? Well, in this section, we're going to look at the specific biological tool they use to create this incredible feeling of safety and calm inside our bodies. So here it is, the secret weapon for co-regulation. And it's not the cuddles, it's not the headbutts, it's the purr. This sound is so much more than just a happy cat. It's actually a powerful biological signal to our own nervous system.
And check this out. Here's the literal chain reaction that happens in your body. First, that low-frequency hum tells your brain, hey, there's no immediate threat here. Your nervous system gets that message and drops its guard. Then your body follows suit. Your breathing gets deeper, your muscles relax, and finally, your stress hormones like cortisol actually start to decrease. And this all happens instinctively, before you even have the conscious thought, wow, I feel calm.
This quote just nails it, doesn't it? Unlike a loud TV or even a phone call, a purr fills the space around you without demanding anything from you. It's this grounding presence that allows your own internal rhythm to finally match the world around you.
Okay, now let's get into a really fascinating connection. For centuries, writers, artists, thinkers, they've all gravitated towards cats. And it turns out there's a really good reason for that.
So there was this research from Carroll University led by Denise Costello, and it found some really interesting patterns. On average, people who called themselves cat people scored higher on tests for cognitive abilities, and they were also more open to new experiences. But, and this part is important, they also scored higher in neuroticism.
So what does that all mean? It kind of means we tend to be thinkers, we're curious, and yeah, we also tend to worry a lot. We're this little bundle of intellect and anxiety, and you know what? We're okay with that. That combination just seems to work for us.
But let's be really clear on this, because it's super important. The point isn't that cats magically make you smarter. What they do is protect the environment that deep thinking needs to thrive. You know, things like creativity, problem solving, real reflection, all of that stuff depends on having long stretches of uninterrupted mental quiet. A cat coexists with that focus. It doesn't shatter it.
And this all leads us to a really profound final idea. What if this unique bond isn't just about our nervous systems? What if it's actually teaching us a better way to think about things like intimacy, respect, and even love itself?
Through a cat, we learn this new definition of intimacy. It's not about big, dramatic gestures or huge emotions. It's about a deep, quiet connection that doesn't need intensity to prove that it's real.
We also learn about respect. A cat teaches you that true closeness doesn't require constant access. It doesn't mean you get to violate boundaries. It's a model for how to be near someone without intruding on their space.
And maybe the most powerful lesson of all is about love. A cat chooses to be with you not because it desperately needs you, but because it prefers to. And that's a revolutionary idea, isn't it? A secure attachment that is not built on dependency.
So when you boil it all down, we come back to this. Your love for cats isn't just some quirky personality trait. It's this profound statement about who you are. It means your nervous system is wired for subtlety, for presence without pressure, for a connection that doesn't demand you perform all the time. So I'll just leave you with this last thought to chew on. In a world that's so obsessed with being needed, with being essential to everyone else, maybe there's a quiet little revolution in choosing to love a creature that would be perfectly fine without you. What if that's the very thing your nervous system has been searching for all along?